Episode 1, When Tragedy Strikes, the Realities of Trauma Cleaning. Hello, and welcome to the SRS podcast. Now, I want to start today's episode by asking you to imagine something. It's not an easy image, but it's one that's central to understanding the work we do. Imagine walking into a space where a tragedy has occurred. It could be the aftermath of an accident, a violent crime, or even an unattended death. The room is silent, yet it speaks volumes about what's happened. The air feels heavy, and you know this is a place where someone's life has forever changed. Now, this might sound morbid, but bear with me. For many, the story ends there, at the point of tragedy. But for those of us in trauma cleaning, this is where the story begins. Our job is to come in, not just to clean, but to restore, to make that space safe again, to give dignity back to those affected, even if we never meet them face to face. Trauma cleaning isn't just about scrubbing away the mess or removing a stain. It's about addressing the biohazards that pose real health risks, restoring a sense of safety, and in many cases, helping people move forward after some of the most challenging moments of their lives. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this world, one that most people never think about, but is absolutely essential. We'll dive into what trauma cleaning involves, the processes we follow, the emotional toll it takes, and why it matters. By the end of this episode, I hope you'll have a new appreciation for this critical but often misunderstood work. So let's start with what trauma cleaning is. You might hear the term and think it's just a fancy way of saying cleaning up after something bad happened, but it's so much more than that. Trauma cleaning deals with the aftermath of events like accidents, suicides, violent crimes, or situations where someone has passed away unnoticed for days or weeks. And the one thing all these scenarios have in common is that they leave behind both visible and invisible dangers. When we talk about biohazards, things like blood, bodily fluids, or tissue, we're not just talking about unpleasant messes. These substances can carry harmful pathogens like hepatitis, HIV, or other infectious diseases. And without the proper training, equipment, and understanding, cleaning them up isn't just ineffective, it's dangerous. For example, let's say there's blood on a carpet. You can't just wipe it up and call it a day. Blood can seep into the fibers of the carpet, the padding underneath, and even into the floorboards. If it's not properly cleaned and disinfected, you're leaving behind a health hazard that could harm anyone who comes into contact with it. That's why trauma cleaning requires professionals. Our job isn't just to make a space look clean, it's to ensure it's truly safe. This involves meticulous cleaning, the removal of contaminated materials, and the use of specialized disinfectants and equipment. And that's just the technical side of the job. There's also an emotional side to trauma cleaning that's just as important. When we're called to a scene, we're often dealing with people who are in the middle of the worst moments of their lives. Family members, landlords, business owners. They're overwhelmed and they don't know where to start. Part of our job is to guide them through the process with empathy and professionalism. It's not just about cleaning. It's about helping people navigate a difficult situation and providing some sense of closure. Now let's talk about how we actually carry out a trauma cleaning job. It all starts with a thorough assessment. When we arrive on site, the first thing we do is evaluate the situation. What are we dealing with? What biohazards are present? How extensive is the contamination? This step is critical because it determines the approach we'll take. Next, we suit up. Personal protective equipment, or PPE, is essential for this kind of work. This includes full body suits, gloves, masks, and sometimes respirators. Our priority is to protect ourselves from exposure to harmful substances while ensuring we can do the job effectively. The cleaning process itself involves multiple steps. First, we remove any visible biohazards using absorbent materials to clean up fluids and specialized tools to handle solid materials. Then, we disinfect the area using industrial-grade chemicals designed to neutralize pathogens. These aren't your typical household cleaners. They're powerful, specialized solutions that ensure every surface is safe. In some cases, we need to remove and dispose of contaminated materials like carpets, furniture, or even sections of walls or flooring. This has to be done according to strict regulations to ensure everything is handled and disposed of safely. Finally, we inspect the space to make sure nothing has been overlooked. This might involve using ultraviolet light to detect hidden biohazards or running air scrubbers to remove contaminants from the air. Once the space is clean and safe, we focus on restoration. This might mean replacing materials, repainting walls, or even bringing in decorators to help restore the space to its original state. Our goal is to leave the space not just clean, but livable. But trauma cleaning isn't just about processes and procedures. It's also about the people. The families, landlords, and business owners who are impacted by these events are often carrying a heavy emotional burden. For us, it's important to approach every job with compassion and respect. We're not just cleaning up a space, we're helping people move forward. That emotional toll is something our team feels as well. This isn't an easy job, and it's not something you can leave at the door when you go home. We see things most people never will, and sometimes those images stay with us. That's why we prioritize mental health within our team. We check in with each other, offer support, and make sure everyone has access to the resources they need. At the end of the day, trauma cleaning is about restoration. It's about restoring safety to spaces, dignity to those affected, and a sense of normalcy to lives that have been disrupted. It's not glamorous work, but it's vital. And for those of us who do it, it's incredibly rewarding to know we're making a difference. And so that's a look at the world of trauma cleaning. It's challenging, it's intense, and it's deeply meaningful. If you've learned something new today or have questions about this work, I'd love to hear from you. You can visit us at srsolutions.uk to learn more or get in touch. Thank you for joining me on the SRS podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in next time where we'll explore the fascinating world of biohazard cleaning. Until then, take care and remember, there's always a solution, no matter how messy it seems.